It took at least 13 COVID cases at a Catholic school in the Danforth area before Toronto Public Health finally made the decision to shut it down. As Toronto, Peel, and other regions are now fully pivoting to remote learning, some experts believe all of this could have been avoided.
I get direct messages from teachers all day long. Most teachers are terrified.
Former MPP Sherry DeNovo has been closely monitoring the school situation across the province, watching cases spike in the hotspots here in the GTA. She believes public health units should have been taking a COVID-0 approach as the variants of concern started taking hold.
Well, let me give you an example. And this is one that public health units are not taking into account, and it's across the province. Say you have a teacher or two teachers in a household. Their children go to different schools. One of their children goes to school with cases. One does not. One of them teaches in a school with cases. One does not. They bring all of that back, not only to their home, but to their community.
Between the public and Catholic boards here in Toronto, more than 600 schools have at least one case. Toronto Public Health tells CityNews the decision to close an individual school is on a case-by-case basis. In a statement, we're told there is no threshold for the number of cases at a school to determine if a school closes or not. The decision is based on the specific circumstances and investigation of the cases related to the school.
It seems as though public health and the government decisions are reflecting this priority of keeping schools open and minimizing the amount of closures that are necessary. I don't know if they're making all the right calls, but I do think that it's too simplistic to say close everything or soldier on and keep everything open.
Associate Professor Lauren Bialystock is an education expert from U of T, and she believes the variants should have changed the way we reacted.
It would have been more justified a few months ago to say schools aren't a big driver of the virus. I mean, that's still true, but now that we're dealing with more frightening strains of the virus, even the small amount of transmission that's happening in schools probably needs to be considered differently.
The promise of more asymptomatic testing is also coming into question. Back in February, the education minister announced new policy that would see school boards testing 5% of their schools every week with the capacity for 50,000 tests a week. I'm told by the minister's spokesperson that schools in Peel and Toronto have been meeting that weekly goal. Here's the provincial breakdown. According to the latest numbers, 2,375 schools have been invited for testing, but overall, less than 39,000 tests have been completed, a far cry from the weekly capacity. Of those swabs, 222 came back positive.
A lot of the boards have been testing on weekends, so parents have to come in another day, or, whether they tested during the day or not. I mean, again, it's not being done enough. So, I mean, where does the blame lie? I think there's enough blame to go around here.
The school boards are in charge of organizing the asymptomatic testing. The TDSB, for example, only has 2 locations available this week. I am told, though, that both are open to all students and staff. The minister's office says that testing is completely voluntary and it can't force people to show up.